break of wood. Out here working on getting that cherry milled up that we're going to use in the grill pavilion. So we're going to work on getting that. And we've already gotten a couple of the live edges off. We're hitting the camp now to see what all we can get out of it. As you can see here, we're utilizing the laser to kind of get an idea. So we still have it where it jumps a little bit, being on the sawmill. And here in the picture doesn't show up very well, but with the naked eye you can still see it out here, and it was in the middle of the day. So, and this is the more powerful laser that they saw on the website. So I'm definitely glad I went with the more powerful one, just because I think the weaker one, you wouldn't have been able to see it all. But with the naked eye, it did show up further down the log, even though you couldn't catch it on camera. So again, like most of the stuff we've been doing, we'll set the live edge over to the left hand side, and actually all of this we left the live edge on. Most of the time we'll cut it off, but here, since we're trying to do a table, we may end up doing an epoxy table, but we want some of that live edge effect. We've kind of been leaving it, we're just going to let it dry as is, and then kind of make final decisions later on. So just taking a brush and a putty knife to get all the sawdust off in between each cut. You end up with a little bit on top still, but it's better than having it sit on there. Here we're just getting it rotated so we can get that other side squared up, so that whenever we rip the last boards out of it, we do have clean edges, because we did get the live edge that we wanted. Because most of the projects we do, we don't necessarily want the live edge. We want that clean side, and like putting it through the planer and everything, you don't want the bark on there, so you have to clean that off before you can run it through a planer, or at least we will before we run it through our planer. So here we get everything lined up, and try to kind of get an image of where you can see the line, and it doesn't show up, like I said, real well on camera there, but just kind of utilizing the laser there, have it flipped on to see, to get it kind of lined up down the board to make things a little bit quicker. So here, engaging the blade, turning on the water. So quick note there, I'm looking at buying a solenoid for a water valve that we can hook up to the forward motion, so whenever you start to move this off forward, it activates, and have it so that whenever you are moving forward, it will go ahead and open that valve. Whenever you stop moving, it would close it. So kind of looking at doing that just so we don't forget to turn the water off. It's one of those small things, but you can get a solenoid pretty cheap, so where it would be kind of a neat thing to add in. Because there you can see I forgot to reach over and turn that off right away. Well, a obvious product of the sawmill are the boards that you get off of it. One of the things I didn't really think about was the amount of sawdust that you create from this. So here I start cleaning that up, and with the concrete or the block walls that we did that for this purpose so that you'd be able to have something solid to go up against. You wouldn't have the sawdust and that wood up against like a wood wall where it would kind of get nasty. Whereas with the block it doesn't matter as much, but that's one thing I just didn't really think about was all the sawdust. So I think I mentioned before we use a snow shovel to actually kind of push everything forward, and there's a block wall at that corner right under where the camera's at, and we're able to collect that. And right now we have a couple people that will utilize it, but just from the amount that we get out of it, you have to find something to do with it. So right now we kind of piling it, and like here we use the little tractor bucket to, move that on. This is the piece of cherry we had, so this is what we got out of it. We have the 4 pieces that are from the camp, and then we have the 3 pieces that still have the live edge on it. I think a couple of the bigger pieces we're going to try to use as the table, and maybe try to epoxy, so cut one edge flat and then try to use the other side. Turned out to be pretty wood. This top side's got a little bit more of the knots and stuff in it, and the bottom's actually prettier, but looks pretty nice. I think we're going to try to stack it back in under, just because we're supposed to get rain, so get it stacked under there so that it's out of the weather. And then I'll go through and then bind it together, and then we'll find a spot where we can store it. Okay, here we got this stack and stickered, so thank you for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. We'll catch you next time.